Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am Borderwise and welcome back to From the Depths Subscriber Craft Review. And before we do anything, just another reminder to everybody who's on my list, the list will be in the description. Make sure your craft are up to date and try and get the updated blueprint to me, because if I load up your design and I find that it's broken, we're gonna have a problem. That's basically it really. Okay, on to the review itself. Oh, also, submissions are closed. Please don't ask about submitting in new craft, because I'm not going to accept them. This series has a limited life, unfortunately. Okay, now that that heavy stuff is out of the way, what do we have here? We have a bit of an unusual review. Firstly, because it's quite short, because this is a small craft. And it's not going to have the usual pros and cons I do with craft, because this is an aesthetic build again. We don't have that many of them around here. It's nice every so often just to have a thing that's trying to be something other than, you know, an unstoppable metacraft or just a big impressive thing or something like that. This is a aesthetic replica build of a Halo vehicle. Halo as in the video game series. And so this thing is called the Pelican D77H TCI by the AceHD. It's a fun little craft. I don't think it's survived the updates completely unscathed because it flies a little bit nose up. But the main intention of this is just to be a replica of the Halo gunship / dropship thing. Specifically the Halo 3 one, according to the notes I have on it. So, not the usual pros and cons. We're going to go over how close it's nailed the at being a replica of that craft, for which I spent an entire 10 minutes reading the Halo wiki article on this thing. So, what do we got? So it's definitely shaped right. I actually immediately recognized this upon booting it up, even though I didn't remember the name of the craft in question. I'm like, oh yeah, it's that thing from Halo. I remember that. And it flies, it is functional, broadly speaking, it flies around. It does have its nose up a little bit. It's got some missiles that it flings mostly into the atmosphere. And it is it's made roughly to scale, which by the way is incredibly hard to do in From the Depths because the smallest block is a 1 cubic meter. So it's got full interiors, it's got a room for 6 Spartans, I'm guessing. And yeah, it's like pretty rudimentary on the inside. It's not, you could probably stick some lights in here or something, but that's not what we're here to talk about. It's even got, okay, my head's in the wall right now, I don't want that. It's even got pilot and co-pilot seats. But yeah, it looks, it is about as close as you can get, I think, while still remaining true to the size. And now there's going to be a long list of things that I reckon could be done better. Maybe not at this size, but certainly could be done. It's got spin block wings, and it's not enough to disqualify it, I should mention. So here we have some spin blocks, and this rear one is for the ramp that I suppose could lower down. So hang on, if you do this, so rotate to angle control, resting angle. You can do something like this. That's possibly a bit much, so I forgot what. It's -8 or something, right? Did I just break this? No, we're good, goddamn. I win. Right, so you could have an ACB controlling that, and that'll be pretty freaking sweet, I think. So I'm not really going to evaluate. Ah, yeah, you could also lose some of the single blocks. Like, this is a prime recipe for just beams right here. And the spin block wings, I think, are a little bit unnecessary in this case. It's a bit cheaty, really. And normally, like, if this was a combat craft, I would instantly kind of disqualify it from viewing, because spin block wings don't have any drag, and so it's an unfair advantage. But honestly, like, this thing flies roughly the same with or without these things. And I don't know. The spin block wings just seem a little bit unnecessary. You could just add other things onto them. But anyway, that's my opinion. And so the biggest thing that I'm gonna spawn this thing in again with its wings, because aesthetics, darn it. So here we go. Oh yeah, I should mention, well, I did mention before, what the hell is it? Why is the map broken? Where's my mouse?
Listening.
That's weird, that's an interesting bug right there. Jeez. Anywho, so it's got missiles and all that stuff. They're not very good. Ah, no. I'm getting ahead of myself again. So the biggest thing that ruins this craft for not being a, I guess, good replica of the Halo gunship. I keep calling it the Halo gunship. The Pelican, it is. The D77, is that there's no chain gun in the front. That's one of the first things you notice when you... I think I'll have to throw up a picture of the Halo Pelican just on the screen right now. That it doesn't have a chain gun. So those of you who are fans of Halo, and I'm sure there's many of you, will note immediately there's no gun on this thing. And that's a bummer, because the main point of the thing is that it's a dropship that's armed, and it's armed with a gun on it. Chain gun. And so you could stick one on there. It doesn't have to be an advanced cannon. You could just... this is just going to be a rough mock-up right here of what I mean. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you could do something like this. So you can have a rotary gun like this. So something like this here. Like you could even just get rid of that and just have a little autocannon right here, and just on a tiny little turret. And already this thing looks slightly more Halo-esque, just with that thing. Never mind, this isn't a rotary gun. You could also have a very small APS, so let's go here, stick this here, and slots, number 6. Stick a mantlet right there, and you could go right there, and you could... I don't know, you could do stuff. And already that's a functional gun. You get it pointing in the right direction, it'll go rat-a-tat-tat, and away you go. Doop, doop. And the paint job. So, if you're going for replica builds, I would avoid using fleet paint. So, if you see here this colored in paint 28, that's my trim. I'd avoid that, because if, for instance, you spawn it in on a different color, it changes, and so... do that, for instance, that actually looks better. Also, and this is, yeah, I mentioned the tilt up while flying, the missiles are not very good, so... like, it doesn't have to be amazing if you're just going for an aesthetic build, but really, these are not great. I think these were designed before the missile update. It's been a while, anyway. So, yeah, all this, they're not great. You put all warheads at the front. Fins should be either at the front or back. And, like, infrared is just generally not very good. So, you could mess around with that. And the main thing is... no, and now we get to the suggestion part. So, I'm going to delete that, because they're never going to kill each other. What you could do, even if you don't want to make this thing combat-worthy and you just want to have it as a fun thing to look at, there's been a lot of updates in the game so far, what with mimics and stuff like that, and when reading the wiki, I noticed that there were some fins on the back here, so they've done wonderful things these days with mimics and other things, so where's a mimic? Here's a mimic. Ooh. Ah, they even have a... here we go, mimic metal. And if I wanted to... okay, metal... stuff. Yeah, that. So if I wanted to do that... so... metal... okay, how's that looking? That's already looking good. And so if we wanted to do that... up-down scaling. Hey, look at that! We just made a fin. So, let's do that. Up down scale. Let's just call that 3. And let's do the same over here. Up down scaling 3. Little plate slope. And ta-da! We just added some fins, like out of nowhere. And you could add more mimics and stuff like that, and like similar little things here, there, and everywhere, just to really polish it up. And just remembering the in Halo, which I've never played, by the way. I know bugger all about the game. This is just from the brief bit I read. This is a craft that's capable of limited spaceflight. So, what you could do is add an ion engine or 2 on it, so you could fly it to space and back, and that'd be really fun. And just to give you an idea of the internals, they're not put together incredibly well. Like, I don't know, these things. Jet stabilizers apparently are things you should never use if you can help it. Powered by RTGs, bit of ammo right in the bottom, bit of ammo processors, and like AI routine card, all that kind of stuff. Old aerial card, da-da-da. So, that's basically it. It's, I like this craft. It's, not combat worthy, really, at all, but I don't really think it was meant to be. It was just meant to be a Halo replica of a craft, and it succeeds mostly well, but the game has updated a lot since this thing was first made. See, like, I'm already liking the little fins I added, and by the way, I'm terrible at aesthetics. Whenever I try aesthetics, I end up throwing up in my own mouth a little bit. So, yeah, like, you could totally go a little bit mental with the new decorations and with mimics and all that kind of stuff. They've really changed the game, aesthetically speaking. So, that's about it. I like this thing. It's a nice, pretty little craft. Like, it wouldn't be that hard to make it pretty combat-worthy as well. You just gotta... I don't know, you could fiddle with the internals mostly, and you could make something reasonably dangerous. But yeah, add a chain gun. That's what I'd say, because chain guns are fun. They even rhyme. Fun rhymes with chain gun, and I'd say you can't spell chain gun without fun, but there's no F in it. Chain fun, that's the one. Okay, so that is possibly the shortest subscriber craft review I've ever recorded, because this is just pure aesthetics on a small craft, and there's not much to it. But I hope you enjoyed it nonetheless. We're quite a way through the list, actually. I'm excited. Probably not going to finish the whole list before this year, though. Like, let's not get our hopes up too soon. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and I will see you next time in From the Depths Subscriber Craft Review. Farewell!